We are still about 30% off our highs that we hit in October when the silver price was at $35. And that goes to show like a 10% increase in the price of the metal can have a 30% impact on the price of the shares.
The Financial Survival Network. Now more than ever. The Financial Survival Network.
And welcome. This is Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. We are connecting with Shawn Khunkhun, CEO of Dolly Varden Silver, to get another sponsor update. We got some drill results out yesterday, Shawn, and wow, I'll tell you what, if anybody had any doubts about the Homestake acquisition, the Homestake Ridge property, I think those doubts have been put to rest by now, right?
Absolutely. And what's interesting is, Dolly Varden acquired Homestake we completed the transaction in the first quarter of 2022, so about 3 years ago. And what really excited me was the Homestake main deposit, which is where the bulk of the gold mineralization was located. But what's really emerging recently is Homestake silver. And just to put this into context, so we're up in Northwest BC, we're in the Golden Triangle, we've got some of the richest, best silver and gold mines on planet Earth. And the Dolly Varden mine, which was one of the richest silver mines in the British Empire, Canada's third largest producer, the silver is transitioning to silver and gold at Homestake Silver, and then it transitions to gold. And so the results that we put out on Monday are from Homestake Silver, and we're finding some really good silver and gold intercepts. And Kerry, for any of your viewers who may not be geologists, which I assume that's probably a lot of your viewers, right? Like, what makes a good drill hole? What makes a discovery? And there was a presentation, we had a couple of conferences up here in Vancouver recently, and there was a mining analyst, a very famous mining analyst, Michael Gray, who talked about what the larger companies are looking for in gold discoveries. And so this is something very, very simple that anybody who's consuming information, news releases, context from explorers, miners, if you take the grams of gold per ton, you take that gram per ton number and you multiply that by the number of meters, it's going to give you a calculation. So if we take Dolly Varden's headline, and it was approximately 20 grams of gold over approximately 8 meters. So if we're looking for the gram meter interval, what we get at Dolly Varden on that drill hole was over 160 gram meters. And what Michael Gray talked about in his presentation at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference and the Roundup conference, the technical conference, is he talked about anything over 100 gram meters is, and by many are seen as a discovery. So that's what you want to see. If you can get to over 100 gram meters, and at Dolly Varden, we got over 68% of that in our last drill intercept. So we're very, very happy with Homestake.
Yeah, well, it's definitely looking up. And, I guess the question is, what happens for 2025 now?
That's a great question. And, when I look ahead at 2025, I'm just coming off the back of an exploration planning meeting that we had this morning with our team. And, we're looking at, some of the upcoming dates, Kerry. We're looking at, May 15th as a date where we could be potentially drilling. We look at May 1st as a date where we're looking to open camp. And so we've got 60 days between now and when we are in the field, out there exploring and hunting for new mineralization and growing and de-risking these projects. And there's a lot of information there's a lot of work that we need to do over the next 2 months in preparation for that drill planning. 2 years ago, we had over 100 people up at site. We had 5 drill rigs turning. We drilled over 50,000 meters. These are big programs, and it takes, in order to do it safely, in order to do it on time and under budget, you need to have the appropriate planning in place. And so the next 60 days are going to be spent not only as an internal team at Dolly Varden, but we'll also lean on one of our shareholders, who Hecla Mining is not only a shareholder, but one of their geologists is makes up our technical committee. We've also got a board member, Michael Henriksen, that heads up that technical committee, and a director, Rob McLeod. And our team will present what we want to do in 2025, the 40,000 meters of drilling that we want to launch as an initial phase 1 drill program, the high priority targets. We'll rank the targets, and we'll make the case of why we want to go into the Wolf deposit, which is the new high-grade silver deposit on the property that's showing a lot of growth and expansion potential. Why, the last drill hole that we put out at Wolf, which we announced on January 6th, where it was a 120-meter step out hit. What I want to do is I want to backfill that to ensure continuity and ensure that we can get these ounces into a compliant resource estimate. But I also want to step out. I want to continue expanding and growing. So we'll hit Wolf, we'll hit Homestake Silver, but there's a number of other targets. I just learned something really new and exciting today, which is we could have another Homestake deposit on our property. We've got an area that we refer to as Red Point, and it's too early for me to give you all the details. These are things that are going to come out over the next 60 days, but we've got some new interpretation on how we can better explore that deposit. And so I'm really excited. There's ample targets, and the good news is, Kerry, we have $33.9 million in the treasury as of today. So we're fully equipped to go out and to do a big drill program. And I know it's a very, very, very exciting time. We're also going to put out a news release summarizing all of the results from the 2024 drill program. So, we'll look at where Dolly was going into the season, where we are today, and a look ahead at what we're going to be accomplishing in 2025.
Right. And best of all, the metals markets are cooperating with you. Silver back over $32 the ounce. And of course, gold trading at all-time highs. Looks like gold's on its way to 3,000.
And what's crazy for me, Kerry, is I'm just going to pull this up right now on my phone. Our project is located in Canada, and right now spot gold is over $4,000 an ounce. $4,075 is the bid on spot gold in Canadian dollar terms. We talk a lot about silver not taking out its old all-time high. Well, it's about to in Canadian dollar terms. I think it already has in Aussie dollar terms. We're 46.25 Canadian. This is a Canadian project, and we are going to realize these metal prices in Canadian dollars. And it's a big opportunity for any U.S. investor. You're able to come up to Canada at basically a 1.5 ratio, and you can get 50% more Dolly Varden stock today with your U.S. dollars.
Yeah, so the leverage that you have there, especially when considering the additional, the recent drill results, the leverage has just increased dramatically per share because the price hasn't.
Absolutely. We are still about 30% off our highs that we hit in October when the silver price was at $35. And that goes to show a 10% increase in the price of the metal can have a 30% impact on the price of the shares. And that's why, if you're investing, if you're speculating, if you're looking for torque in your mining investments and in your metal investments, this is where the shares really. And what's great, Kerry, is today Dolly Varden is on 3 indexes. So we are liquid enough, we are big enough to attract the SILJ and some of these ETFs. And that's very, very important from a liquidity standpoint. Sprott just announced a new ETF. We will be included in that as well. So that's a fourth. And then, once our shares start trading over $1 million a day in terms of liquidity, we might be included on something like the GDXJ. And, as this company grows and as it builds, we are also looking to uplist on larger stock exchanges, introducing the company to even more investors, both institutional, but also retail.
Yeah. And effectively, I guess what I was saying is your ounces in the ground got even cheaper, more discounted than they already were.
100%. And you highlight a great point here. The disparity between metal price and metal equity has never been greater. And so, as we drill, as we put out positive drill results, and as the share price is still here, I think it's around 73 cents US. It's still well off its highs. And we've just fundamentally made the company even better.
All right. So milestones for 2025, catalytic events. What do you see ahead?
Again, we're in this moment right now where we just put out yesterday the results from the 2024 program. And, at a very, very high level, the overall goal of this company is to create a company that becomes a top 10 silver co. That's the big vision here. And it has been for 5 years. And that vision, it hasn't changed now that we're a $320 million company. It's still the same vision it was when we were a $20 million company 5 years ago. So the overall goal here is my mission for this company is to create a top 10 silver co. And we either become one ourselves by developing and growing this asset, or we get acquired by a company that's already an existing top 10 silver equity, and hence we get absorbed into that story and we become a pipeline project into that larger co. So that's the overall goal. Now, how do we get there? Well, we get there through doing what we have done in the past, which is continue to systematically grow this company through adding high quality ounces in the ground. And we can do that through drilling. We can do that through acquisitions. And so it's really about putting together a systematic, aggressive exploration program and continue to have success with the drill bit, expanding and extending high grade silver and gold mineralization.
All right. And rising metals prices certainly help everything look better over time.
I just hope they're outpacing the rising inflation.
Yeah, well, it's about time they started, I would say. So you want to go over to the company's website, dollyvardensilver.com, sign up for notifications so you get the latest news, and the ticker symbols in the US, DOLLF, and of course in Canada, DV. Shawn, thanks for coming on. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Thanks for having me, Kerry. Thank you.
The Financial Survival Network.